Hey guys, welcome to another video. I got a little bit creative, so these are going to be 5 fragrances that supervillains would wear. I got inspired by this because I was thinking about the Joker and I'm like, what would the Joker wear if he had a specific fragrance? Well, we're going to go through many of those today, and these fragrances reminded me of some of those villains. So we got our first one here, which is my absolute favorite, Blackmail by Kerosene. So this fragrance breakdown, it's my signature scent for the winter time, is oud, vanilla, amber, sandalwood, plum, raspberry, and musk. I'm just going to go ahead and spray it and explain to you why it fits well. I never can tell where this is facing. There we go. With this fragrance, what you get is something so nice. It's smoky. The raspberry here is very nice, and this almost makes you feel like a supervillain that's well dressed at night. It's very smoky, not smoky like incense, but smoky like cigarette smoky. It's very weird, but it's definitely something super interesting, dark, long lasting, projects crazy. So this is why I would suggest it as one of the best supervillain fragrances, because it is quite dark. And that was number 1, Blackmail by Kerosene. Next on my list is one that is talked about very often. Excuse me as I try to find the note breakdown of this fragrance because it needs it. This is going to be one of the worst fragrances I've ever smelled ever before. Unexcusable Evil by Toskovat. This fragrance has a note breakdown of gunpowder, ozonic notes, but notes of blonde, iodine, copaiba, balm, cypral oil, flowers, gaiac wood, concrete, rain notes, incense, and sandalwood. I chose this fragrance because it reminds me of many of villains that I can't think about that kill with a knife or with a gun. So like an anti-superhero, for an example, the Punisher would kind of give this kind of vibe, or many of other ones. I can't come up with any, but this is a good supervillain fragrance. You just have to be super careful. I'm literally going to be throwing this out of my room because of how strong this is, and I haven't sprayed this one in a long time. So with this one, you get the ozonic notes with the gunpowder. The blood here is very prominent with the iodine. The concrete here starts appealing more in the rain notes. This is super strong because it just smells like straight gunpowder and blood. This reminds you of war. This reminds you of gangsters shooting guns in the air and a mass scene of offed people, put it that way. And I can tell this fragrance is definitely one of those villain fragrances for sure. Very strong, hard to wear, nighttime most of the time. But there's going to be daytime fragrances that gave me super villain vibes too. And that was number 2, Unexcusable Evil by Toskovat. Number 3 on my list is going to be by the House of Killian. I think it's Black Phantom. I just want to make sure I get the note breakdown right. So it's Black Phantom. This fragrance is rum, chocolate, coffee, almond, heliotrope. In the base notes, you get caramel, cane sugar, sandalwood, vanilla, tonka, and vetiver. I have the mix of Dua here, and I've used it a lot. But when I got the Dua version, this is when they had the CO2 extract. So my batch is actually a really rare batch that you used to be able to get from Dua. But here the CO2 extract is very, very prominent. It comes off almost cigarette-like. but the rum here is prominent. Dark chocolate, the coffee here is good. But in the background, that CO2, like I was mentioning, it comes off a little bit smoky and unique. It's definitely in the gourmand aspect of fragrances, but a villain that smells like this, just because of that smoky background, is nighttime, date night, like the Joker is going out with Harley Quinn, something like that. Don't roast me because I don't know my supervillains too well, but as far as their personality characters, these are going to be it. This fragrance, as far as by Dua, is very long lasting. I get probably 8 hours to 9 hours from this. Projecting very, very well. I would not recommend wearing this during high heat weather. Most of these I don't recommend them, but there's one that I will recommend for the springtime. But a supervillain that is handsome would probably wear something like this. And that was number 3, Killian's Black Phantom. This is Dua's version, Black Widow. Next on our list, this is going to be a fragrance that I tend to butcher the name very badly. It's Pierre Guillaume Paris. This is going to be Animal Mundane. Animal Mundane. I got this 2 ml from ZGL Perfumery because I can't find this lineup anywhere else. What you get here is pear leaf, tobacco, honey, hay, and then base notes you get animal notes, powdery notes, and mahogany. Hopefully I said that right. So we're going to spray this next. Now this fragrance can most definitely be worn for the daytime where it's a little bit hot but not getting overwhelmingly hot and humid. And I say this is a supervillain fragrances because the animalic notes here pop up just a little bit. It's not piss-like or wet dog-like. It's more as giving it a projection, almost like a help with a push. The pear leaf is very prominent. The tobacco, the honey, and the hay are very well done here. This is really, really good. I'm surprisingly really liking this a lot. Now a supervillain that would probably wear this, I'd probably give this to a supervillain that is very good looking. So let's look up a list right now. So if I had to give, I'm butchering this really, really bad. We'll just go with Itachi. I don't know. We're gonna go for the scent of Itachi when it comes to this fragrance. Is he a supervillain? I don't know. Did he abandon his family? Absolutely, but this is really, really good. Longevity here is gonna be pretty decent, and this isn't going to be too bad for the winter time either, so you can wear this year round, to be quite honest. But I would keep this spring and summertime for sure. And that was number 4, Animal Mundane by Pierre Guillermo. We're just going to go with that. Last on my list is going to be a fragrance I would give Pennywise. Why? Because this fragrance is nuclear in projection. Smells like you ran over children. Yeah, that's that. This is going to be Age of Innocence by Toscova. If you have not smelled this fragrance, I recommend you get a 1 ml. That's all you're going to need. You don't need a 2 ml. You're not going to be wearing this a lot. Unless you go to a carnival, but you're going to weird out a bunch of people with this. This is Pennywise's signature scent. Top notes are going to be bubblegum, cotton candy, and strawberry. Watch this. Middle notes are gasoline, rubber, metallic notes, and rose. And then the base notes are oud, cedar, vetiver, and cade oil. Hopefully I do not spill this. I do not recommend spilling this, so I'm going to take it easy. I got it on my fingers. Rest in peace. But we're all good. That should seal up pretty well. So the bubble gum here stands out quite a bit. The gasoline is starting to come out more. Ooh, it's drying down and I'm getting that screechy rubber. Almost like fresh tires right off the rack. And the gasoline and the rubber makes you think of just that. Like you were driving a car, you smashed into a kid that was holding cotton candy, chewing bubble gum, and now the car is leaking gasoline everywhere. This is Pennywise's signature scent for good reasons. Projection's going to be crazy on this. And this smells really wearable. I would just watch out with how you wear this. Wintertime, when it comes to weird fragrances that are strong and projecting, are going to be your best bets to be worn. During the wintertime. I don't know if I clarified that, but what's that there? Projection on this does not disappoint. Longevity on this does not disappoint. But I will tell you this, if you like bubblegum, gasoline, and rubber all in one, you're probably going to like this fragrance too. But I remember wearing this and it would not come off of my skin. And that's all of the Toscovat fragrances too. If you want something very friendly out of the Toscovat line, I'm going to recommend Empty Wish as well. I'm going to recommend Take Me to Church. And I'm also going to recommend Things We Never Shared. And then lastly, I'm going to recommend Pining Dew number 2. When it comes to Pining Dew number 2, it's pineapple, it's minty, it's very compliment getting, long lasting, sticks on your skin. That's why I recommend those for starting out. But as far as Age of Innocence, you want to stay away from this, especially if you're starting out with weird fragrances. That's going to be it for today's video. And that was my last one, Age of Innocence by Toscovat. Let me know what you guys think about this list. I came up with this out of the blue. And hopefully it gets views. Hopefully you guys enjoy this a lot. And if you do, share it with somebody. Like it up. Comment below what's one of your most weirdest fragrances that's gotten you a weird compliment. That's going to be it for today's video. And you already know, I love you guys. And God loves you too. Peace out.